Welcome to today's episode, the place where we learn, grow, and inspire together. If you are just starting your journey of learning English, this episode is especially for you. Learning a new language can feel scary, confusing, and even frustrating at times, but I want you to know you are not alone. Every fluent English speaker you admire today was once a beginner, just like you. In this podcast, I will guide you step by step through simple techniques, powerful tips, and easy practices that will help you build confidence in speaking, listening, reading, and writing English. We are not just learning grammar or vocabulary. We are building a strong foundation that will open new doors in your life, from better jobs to more opportunities, and even connecting with people all around the world. So grab your notebook, relax, and listen closely, because today we are starting the journey of learning. English for beginners, the journey that can change your future. Technique 1, listen every day. When you first start learning English, it can feel difficult to understand what people are saying. The words sound fast, the accent feels different, and sometimes you catch only one or two words. That's okay. This is normal. The first and most powerful technique is simple. Listen every single day. Listening is the foundation of language learning. Think about how babies learn their first language. They don't start by reading or writing. They listen to their parents, to sounds, to conversations around them, and slowly their brain starts to understand. The same happens with you. If you listen to English every day, even just 10 or 15 minutes, your brain will begin to recognize words, phrases, and rhythm without much effort. But here's the secret. Don't force yourself to understand everything. In the beginning, you don't need to translate every word. Just let the sounds flow into your ears. Maybe you're listening to a podcast while walking. Maybe you're watching a short YouTube video with subtitles. Or maybe you're playing English songs in the background. Over time, your brain will start to catch patterns. Suddenly, you'll notice that you understand simple sentences without translating. That's the magic of daily listening. So make a small routine. Listen to English when you wake up, while cooking, while traveling, or even before bed. The key is not perfection, it's consistency. Daily listening will train your ears and make your English feel more natural. And remember, it doesn't matter if you don't understand 100%. What matters is that you are giving your brain the chance to grow with English every day. Technique 2, learn like children, little by little. One of the most powerful ways to learn English, especially as a beginner, is through listening. You might think speaking is the most important. But before we can speak, we need to listen. Think about how children learn their first language. Before they ever say mama or dada, they spend months, even years, just listening to the people around them. Their little brains are absorbing the sounds, the rhythm, the tone, and the meaning. And slowly, without even realizing it, they start to repeat what they hear. This is the natural way to learn a language, and it works for you too. Listening every day doesn't mean you need to sit down for 2 hours and study a textbook recording. It means surrounding yourself with English in ways that feel natural and enjoyable. You can listen to podcasts like this one. You can watch English movies with subtitles. You can listen to music in English, or even short clips on YouTube or TikTok. The key is not the length of time, but the consistency. Even 10 minutes a day is better than nothing. Imagine if you listened for just 10 minutes a day for 1 year. That's over 600 minutes, or 60 hours of listening practice, without even feeling like you studied hard. Small habits create big results. Here's something important. At the beginning, you might not understand everything. In fact, you might only catch one word here and there. That's normal. Don't get discouraged. When you listen, your brain is working in the background, training itself to recognize sounds, accents, and patterns. Over time, you will notice something amazing. Words that once felt like noise will suddenly become clear. Phrases you've heard many times will start to stick. This is the magic of listening. It trains your ear and builds your confidence to speak. I'll share a small exercise with you. Pick one short audio clip in English, maybe a short podcast episode, a YouTube video, or even a scene from your favorite movie. First, just listen without subtitles. Don't worry about understanding everything. Second, listen again with subtitles or a transcript. Now your brain can connect the sounds with the words. Finally, listen one more time without subtitles. You'll be surprised how much more you catch the third time. This simple 3-step listening exercise can change the way you hear English. Another tip: choose content that you enjoy. If you love music, listen to English songs. If you love football, listen to football commentary in English. If you love stories, listen to audiobooks or podcasts about life. The more interested you are, the easier it is to stay consistent. Learning English should not feel like torture. It should feel like discovering something exciting every day. And here's one more mindset shift. Don't wait until you understand 100% before you allow yourself to enjoy listening. Even if you only understand 20%, celebrate that. That 20% will grow to 30, then 50, then 80. Every day you listen, you are planting seeds in your brain, and one day, those seeds will grow into strong English skills. So, technique 2 is simple but life-changing. Listen every single day. Make it part of your lifestyle, like brushing your teeth or drinking water. You don't need to force it, you just need to keep it consistent. If you do this, your English will improve naturally, and one day you'll realize, wow, I can actually understand this podcast without subtitles. That moment will feel amazing. And it all starts with listening a little bit every day. Technique 3. Create English habits in your daily life. Learning English is not just about sitting at a desk with a book or listening to a podcast once in a while. Real progress comes when English becomes a natural part of your daily routine, just like eating, walking, or checking your phone. The most successful English learners don't only practice during study time, they create small habits that keep them connected to English all day long. Why? Because the more you live with the language, the more your brain accepts it as normal, and the faster you improve without even realizing it. Think about this. If you spend just 10 minutes every day listening to English, by the end of the year, you will have listened for more than 60 hours. If you write just 3 English sentences every day by the end of the year, you will have written more than 1,000 sentences. It may look small today, but over time, those habits build up like compound interest in money. Success in language learning is not about one big action. It's about small, consistent actions that grow into massive results. Here's how you can start building these habits. When you wake up in the morning, instead of checking social media in your own language, try checking one English post or listening to one English podcast. While eating breakfast, describe your food in English in your mind. I am eating rice. I am drinking coffee. The coffee is hot. It looks very simple, but it trains your brain to think in English step by step. When you walk outside, look at things around you and name them in English. That's a car. That's a shop. The man is running. You are not just studying, you are living in English. Another powerful habit is to set your phone and apps into English. This way, every time you use your phone, you are learning without effort. You will see words like settings, notifications, privacy, or update every single day. Over time, these words will become natural to you. You don't even need a classroom. Your phone becomes your teacher. But here's the most important part. You must make it daily. Habits only work when they are repeated again and again. If you do it only sometimes, your progress will be slow. If you do it every day, even for 5 minutes, your progress will explode. Imagine you are planting a tree. If you water it once in a while, it will die. But if you water it every day, even a little bit, it will grow strong and give you shade. Your English is exactly the same, so technique 3 is clear. Create habits. Start small, be consistent, and let English be part of your lifestyle. Make it as natural as drinking water. And remember this: success doesn't come from what you do sometimes. It comes from what you do every single day. Technique 4. Read, 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 and then read some more. When it comes to improving your English, there is perhaps no technique more powerful, more practical, and more rewarding than reading. Reading is like exercise for your brain. It builds vocabulary, strengthens your grammar, and exposes you to the rhythm and flow of natural English sentences. The truth is, the more you read, the faster your English will grow, because reading doesn't just give you words, it gives you context, meaning, and memory. Think about how you learned your first language. You didn't memorize grammar rules first. You listened, watched, and read the world around you. The same applies here. Reading is how you absorb English naturally, without even realizing how much you're learning. But here's the secret. You don't need to start with difficult books or heavy novels that might frustrate you. Instead, start with what excites you. Maybe you enjoy magazines, short stories, news articles, or even children's books. That's perfectly fine, because reading something simple every day builds a strong foundation. If you only read things that are too difficult, you'll feel tired and give up. But if you choose things that are interesting, you'll enjoy the process, and learning will feel natural. For example, reading a simple article about football, travel, cooking, or money management in English can actually be more powerful than struggling with Shakespeare. Remember this: consistent reading, even just 10 minutes a day, is better than reading a difficult book once and then quitting. Another powerful trick is to read actively. Don't just look at the words, engage with them. Underline phrases you don't understand. Highlight words you want to remember, and say sentences out loud as you read. For example, if you read "Success comes to those who work hard," stop and repeat it aloud. This way, you practice pronunciation while building memory. Keep a small notebook where you write down new words and their meanings, and review them often. If you see the word opportunity in your reading, write it down and later try to make your own sentence. I have an opportunity to learn English today. This simple method turns passive reading into active learning, and active learning always brings faster results. Reading also has another hidden benefit. It teaches you the music of English, the way words are connected, the way sentences are built, the way ideas flow. Reading gives you a model to follow. Over time, your brain starts to copy this rhythm, and soon you'll notice that your speaking becomes more natural, your writing more fluent, and your thinking in English sharper. That's why successful English learners don't just read once in a while, they make it a daily habit. Just 2-3 pages every day can completely change your language ability after a few months. So here's my advice. Start small, start simple, but never stop. Pick a short story, a motivational article, or even subtitles in English, and read a little every single day. Let English words become part of your daily life, the way you scroll on your phone or watch videos. Slowly, reading will become natural, and your English will grow stronger without you even realizing it. Because every page you read is not just learning English, it's opening your mind to a bigger world, a world where you can understand more, connect more, and dream more. Technique 5. Think in English, not in translation. One of the biggest obstacles learners face when trying to improve their English is the habit of translating everything from their native language before speaking or writing. At first, this may feel natural because your brain wants to rely on what it already knows. But in the long run, it becomes a heavy chain that slows your fluency and confidence. Imagine this. You hear a question in English, then you translate it into your language. Think of the answer in your language, and finally translate it back into English before speaking. By the time you finish this process, the conversation has already moved on, and you feel left behind. This is why one of the most powerful techniques is to train your brain to think directly in English. Thinking in English removes the middle step of translation and allows your ideas to flow naturally, just like a native speaker's. It's not about knowing a million words. It's about connecting the words you already know quickly and effortlessly. How do you practice this? Start small. For example, when you wake up, don't just think, "I'm hungry" in your language. Instead, say to yourself in English, "I want breakfast." "I feel hungry." "What should I eat today?" It doesn't matter if your sentences are short or simple at first. What matters is that you stop relying on translation and start building a direct connection between your thoughts and the English language. Another powerful way is to narrate your daily life in English. If you're walking to work, describe what you see. The street is busy. That car is moving fast. The weather is hot today. This might feel strange at first, but over time, your brain will adapt and English will start to feel like a natural tool for expressing your thoughts, not a foreign subject you study. Reading and listening can also help you think in English. When you read a book or watch a video, don't translate every word. Instead, focus on understanding the main idea in English itself. Let's say you read the sentence, "She was running late for work." Don't stop and translate into your language. Just picture the scene in your mind, someone rushing because she's late. The picture becomes the meaning, not the translation. This is how children learn language. They connect words directly to experiences, not translations. And that's exactly how you should practice too. The real beauty of this technique is freedom. When you train yourself to think in English, you will not feel stressed when speaking, because the words will come faster. You'll notice your speaking becomes smoother. Your listening improves and your confidence rises. Remember, fluency is not perfection, it's flow. And flow comes when your brain stops switching back and forth between languages and starts living inside English. Thinking in English every day, even in short moments, is like rewiring your brain for fluency. The more you do it, the more natural it will feel, and soon English will stop being a subject. You study and become a part of your thinking, your personality, and your daily life. Technique 6. Practice with real-life conversations. When it comes to learning English, one of the biggest mistakes people make is keeping the language only inside the classroom, inside the books, or inside their notebooks. They treat English like a subject to study, not a living skill to use. But here's the truth. Language was never meant to be studied. Only it was meant to be spoken, shared, and lived. That's why one of the most powerful techniques to improve your English at home is to practice with real-life conversations, even if you don't have native speakers around you. Think about this. How did you learn your first language? You didn't sit down with a grammar book. You didn't memorize verb tenses. You listened, you copied, you made mistakes, and you used the language in everyday conversations. And slowly, without even realizing it, you became fluent. English works the same way. The more you use it in real life, the faster your brain connects the words, the grammar, and the meaning together. That's why conversation practice is not optional. It's essential. Now I know what you're thinking, but I don't have anyone to talk to in English at home. That's okay, because conversation doesn't always require another person sitting in front of you. You can create real-life conversation practice in many ways. For example, you can talk to yourself about your day. When you wake up, try describing your morning in English. I'm brushing my teeth now. I'm making breakfast. I'm drinking coffee. These simple sentences, repeated daily, train your brain to think in English. It may feel silly at first, but remember, this is how you turn passive knowledge into active skill. Another way is to record voice notes. Pretend you are leaving a message for a friend in English. Talk about what happened today, share your thoughts, or even explain something you learned. When you play it back, you'll hear your pronunciation, your mistakes, and your progress. Over time, you'll notice your voice sounding more confident and natural. If you want to take it further, use apps and online communities. There are so many platforms where you can find language partners who are also learning. Even a 10-minute chat with someone from another country can give you practice you could never get from a textbook. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. The goal is not to speak without mistakes. The goal is to communicate, to be understood, and to keep improving. The beauty of practicing with real-life conversations is that it builds confidence. It pushes you out of your comfort zone and teaches you how to think quickly in English. It's like training your brain to respond naturally without translating every word. And the more you do it, the more English becomes a part of your daily life. Not just something you study, but something you live. So here's your challenge. Starting today, set aside at least 10 minutes every day for real-life conversation practice. Talk to yourself, record your voice, or connect with someone online. Don't wait for the perfect time or the perfect partner. Start where you are with what you have and keep building. Because every sentence you speak, no matter how simple, is one step closer to fluency. Remember, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes progress. And progress, repeated daily, creates fluency. Technique 7. Learn through context, not translation. One of the biggest mistakes many English learners make is trying to translate every single word from their language into English. At first, it feels natural to do this because translation gives you comfort and clarity. But here's the problem. Real conversations don't happen in translations. They happen in context. If you always translate in your head, your brain becomes slow, your speech becomes unnatural, and you feel nervous when trying to respond quickly. The secret to speaking English fluently is not in knowing the exact dictionary meaning of every word, but in understanding how words live inside sentences, how they work together in phrases, and how they create meaning through context. Think about it. When you learned your first language as a child, nobody gave you a dictionary or told you to translate. You learned by listening, observing, and understanding situations. The same method works for English. For example, if you hear someone say, "I'm feeling under the weather," you don't need to stop and translate each word. The phrase as a whole means, "I feel sick or unwell." If you practice understanding phrases by their context, you start to build natural fluency. The same goes for words like break up, which in one context means to end a relationship, but in another could mean breaking something into smaller parts. Instead of memorizing word-for-word definitions, focus on how the phrase is being used in the situation. Listen to stories, conversations, movies, and podcasts where words are alive in real life. That's how you train your brain to think in English, not translate into English. Here's a simple practice for you. Take short dialogues or English videos and write down whole phrases, not just single words. Then use those phrases in your own life. For example, if you hear "let's grab a bite" in a movie, don't translate it word by word. Just remember that it means "let's go eat something." The more you expose yourself to phrases in context, the faster you'll notice your fluency improving. You'll start thinking in English automatically, and when someone talks to you, you'll respond without hesitation, because your brain already recognizes the phrase. So, if you want to unlock true fluency, stop living in translation. Live in context. Train yourself to hear, feel, and use English the way native speakers use it. Inside stories, conversations, and daily situations. That's how English becomes not just a subject you study, but a language you live. Technique 8. Learn with subtitles. Watch, listen, and read at the same time. One of the most powerful ways to improve your English naturally is by using subtitles. Many learners think watching movies, YouTube videos, or Netflix in English is enough, but sometimes it's too fast, and you miss important words. That's why subtitles are so useful. They connect your listening and your reading together. For example, if you watch a movie in English with English subtitles, your ears hear the sound, your eyes see the words, and your brain connects them. This triple connection makes learning faster and stronger. It's like training your brain to catch the meaning, the pronunciation, and the spelling all at once. At first, you can start with subtitles in your own language to understand the story. But later, you must switch to English subtitles. That's when the real learning happens. The more you practice, the more your brain gets used to the rhythm and the natural flow of English. You start to notice how native speakers use words, their tone, their expressions, and even small things like contractions. For example, "I am going to be coming, I'm gonna." These details will make your English sound more natural. The trick is to make it active, not passive. Don't just watch and forget. Pause sometimes, repeat the lines, and try to speak along with the actors. This practice is called shadowing. And it is extremely powerful because it trains your mouth and ears to work together. If you do this every day, even just 15-20 minutes, you will notice a big improvement in your listening skills, pronunciation, and speaking confidence. Remember, subtitles are not a weakness. They are your learning tool. With time, you will rely on them less and less. And one day, you'll watch without subtitles and understand almost everything. So don't just watch, learn. Subtitles are your secret English teacher right inside every video, every movie, every show you enjoy. Technique 9. Speak with yourself every day. One of the most powerful techniques to improve your English is to simply talk to yourself in English every single day. You might think it sounds funny, but it's actually one of the best ways to build fluency, confidence, and natural flow. Here's why. When you speak to yourself, there is no pressure, no judgment, and no fear of making mistakes. You are free to practice as much as you want. Repeat phrases again and again, and try different ways of saying the same thing. For example, you can describe your morning routine in English. "I am brushing my teeth." "I am making coffee." "I am getting ready for work." Or you can plan your day out loud. "Today I will go to the market. After that I will read a book." By doing this, you create a habit of thinking in English, which is one of the biggest steps toward fluency. Another powerful way is to stand in front of a mirror and have a little conversation with yourself. Pretend you are talking to a friend or even answering interview questions. Ask yourself, "How was my day? What did I learn today? What do I want to do tomorrow?" And answer in English. At first, you might struggle with words, but don't stop. Keep talking. Over time, your brain will become faster, Your vocabulary will grow, and your confidence will skyrocket. Remember, speaking to yourself is not about being perfect. It's about training your mouth and your mind to work together in English. So the next time you feel shy or don't have a partner to practice with, don't wait, just talk to yourself. Because the more you speak, the more natural English will become. If you found this useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends who are also learning English. Keep practicing, and step by step, your English will become stronger every single day. Technique 10. Think in English every day. The final and perhaps the most powerful technique is to start thinking in English every single day. Most learners spend their time only speaking English during practice sessions, or only reading English during study hours, but the real progress begins when English becomes part of your natural thought process. Imagine this. Instead of translating from your native language, you begin to describe the world around you in English. When you wake up, say to yourself, I am brushing my teeth. I am making coffee. I am walking to work. These simple sentences may sound basic, but they slowly reprogram your brain to stop relying on translation and start building fluency directly in English. The more you do this, the more natural English will feel inside your mind. This is how children learn their first language, by connecting thoughts with words, not translations. At first, it may feel slow and uncomfortable, but with time, you will notice that English words start coming to you faster, almost without effort. This technique builds confidence, strengthens memory, and turns English into a living part of your daily life. So instead of thinking in your own language first, switch to English, even for the smallest thoughts. That's how fluency begins, one thought at a time. And there you have it. 10 powerful techniques to improve your English at home. Remember, learning a language is not about speed, it's about consistency. Each technique you practice adds one more brick to the foundation of your fluency. Keep practicing daily, even in small ways, and you will surprise yourself with how far you've come. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends who are also learning, and subscribe to the channel for more English learning techniques and motivation. Together we can grow step by step. See you in the next video, and keep learning, keep growing.